Hi, this is Nick Forster. We're going to share one of our favorite eTown shows from the archives, and it starts right now.
From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown. Our musical guests this week include from Denver, Colorado, Nic Clark, and from Charleston, South Carolina, Shovels and Rope. Plus, we'll have a conversation with Jim Pugh from the Little Village Foundation. I'm Helen Forster. Right now, join me in welcoming our host, Nic Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown. Glad to see you all here live and in person. I want to talk about family just a little bit. So, we are all products of our families, for better or worse. Mine was fine. Like all of yours were. I know. And the fact of the matter is, parents tried their best. And as much as we think we can influence our kids, they pretty much are who they are when they come out. And we can take pride in all the things that they do really well and blame them for the stuff that they're not good at. But the fact is, families are complicated. That's sort of the underlying theme of this week's program. So we've got an artist, Nic Clark, who's from Denver. He is inspired by his young niece and nephew to make music that is family-friendly. And he's found ways to share that music with people in need around the country. But it's really cool to see the sort of degree that family inspired that whole direction for him. And of course, up first, we have a powerful duo who started out making music together and then over time almost inadvertently became a family. That doesn't mean that their songs are sweet or suitable for all ages. These two are fierce, strong-willed musical voices, and they aren't afraid to write songs about the real stuff. But they are a family, and they're on the road often with their two kids. They haven't been on the eTown stage for quite a long time, and we're really happy to have them back. Please welcome back to eTown, Shovels and Rope.
It is good to be back here. It's been too long, and it's an honor to be returning. So thank you for having us.
I was thirsty, I was lost, I was hanging on a cross, I was dying to make it back to Colorado, bones in a saddle, I was weary from the battle, the path was much too difficult to follow. Come on, Utah, give me over that edge, we got 10 more miles on to turn that down, we're never coming back again. Come on, Utah, race me over that ledge. I wanna see my son and carry my gun like a real American. Well, the war had come and gone, and all the lost ones had moved on. They would gather on the hill to tell his story. Utah was his name. He had a calico mane. He was shot out on the Cannonier morning. Well, he sauntered to my side, and I fell into his eyes, and into my soul fire mixed with music. So I climbed up on his back, and we rided down the track, and I yelled his name out so loud, everybody knew it. I said, was thirsty, I was lost, I was hanging on a cross, I was dying to make it back to Colorado. September 30, 1955, grease sticking to my hair, sticking to my thigh. Got that sweet silver spider, got that sugar in my eye. Gonna push it till she's smoking, gonna break her head by. Time fire pumping out the smoke, firecracker strapped to a can of coke. The squeal and the wheel and the speed and the choke. Immortal cause America can't ever let me go. Did I die last night? Am I walking around? I'm here but not me, I'm a ghost. I'm a domino. I'm a domino. Iconic, supersonic, 50s America, you know you want it. I'm Jimmy Star. I'm Jimmy Star. I'm out the door. So to say to leave them wanting more. The mood and the booty generation. I'm you. I'm what you're chasing. I'm the face of freewheeling dealers making. Cue all the girls and the boys and the parents all shaking. Did I die last night? Am I walking around? I'm here but not me. I'm a ghost. I'm a domino. I'm a domino. Graziano, I'm not mood of your booty generation. I'm you, I'm what you're chasing. I'm the face that freewheeling dealers making. You all the girls and the boys and the parents all shaking. Did I die last night? Am I walking around? I'm here but not me. I'm a ghost. I'm a domino. I'm a domino.
Shovels and Rope, welcome back to eTown. So good to hear you. It's such a big sound.
It's great to be back with
It's
you.
a big sound from two people. It's just, it's always been amazing to see what you guys put out, just as the two of you. It's incredible, really.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Too cheap to pay anybody else to help us.
Yeah. And your lives are already complicated enough on the road.
Nobody wants to be the third wheel in this band, I promise you.
Yeah.
We did think about it for a minute. We entertained the thought, and first we couldn't afford it, and then we're like, no, I don't think so. Nobody wants to get in the van with all of this. You know?
Yeah. Well, all this is, it's interesting because, again, as I mentioned when I was the top of the show, just that you started just as people who became aware of each other's music and playing music together, and then now it's a very different dynamic. You've been married for a while, 10, 14 years or
14
something?
14 years, yeah.
And,
It's not bad for rock and roll.
Yeah, that's not bad for rock and roll. And you're both songwriters, and you're both creative, and you're both, there's must be the inevitable power struggle that happens with some frequency.
What do you mean? Yeah, I think it was difficult at the beginning because we were both the bosses of our own projects for years before that, and it didn't make sense to if we to have separate careers.
Yeah.
It seemed like an insurmountable challenge as opposed to being in a band together, which could be an insurmountable challenge to others. But that was the easier choice for us.
Yeah. And then along come a couple kids, as you described them, the consequences of your actions.
Exactly. We wanted them, we chose to have them, and we had them easily. And now they travel with us, and they're so fun, and it keeps us grounded. It keeps us having a purpose outside of our own egos, which is right on time. And they keep us rooted in what it is that we're doing, which is we have the privilege to make art for commerce, and we're able to raise them in a kind of an alternative lifestyle where we're half the time in the public schools and living a very domestic life, and then we're out on the road living like gypsies, homeschooling, making notes wherever we are, and it's just a blessing.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I do want to talk about your most recent record. I know you got another one percolating, but the most recent record is called Manticore, which is a word I didn't know, and so I looked it up. And that itself was, as I understood it, a lion's body with a human head and a scorpion's tail, and it likes to eat human flesh. Boy, COVID must have been really hard for you guys. That was my first reaction. Just like, man, these guys are caught at home with their kids, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and it's getting darker than it usually is in your household. That was my suspicion.
We thought about eating them once or twice. Yeah, we did. Delicious, yeah.
I know we've got lots more music to get to. I really want to congratulate you because none of what you're doing is easy. Making a living as a touring musician is hard. Making a living as a touring musician family is harder. Being songwriters in a relationship and sharing that creativity and making a commitment to raising healthy kids, it's all tough, and it seems like you're doing it all really well. So
we hope so.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's
congrats.
kind of you to say.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah,
Not easy. I do want to ask you, as observant people who do travel and you get around the country and you meet a lot of different people, lots of challenges out there in the world. What's given you a little bit of hope?
Grassroots community organizations. You go down to New Orleans and you Mardi Gras and you see this club and that club and you think it's just a party. These organizations form to support their communities for funding basic needs, food, diapers, child care when somebody's out of a job. We're part of the crew of Red Beans and Rice, which is a fun organization that just raises money and affects positive change, especially for musicians and culture bearers in New Orleans, Louisiana. And then there's organizations in Charleston, South Carolina that we're excited about. But it gives me hope to see what the combined efforts of groups of people can do in their communities. You can affect so much change by building community. And one thing that we love about traveling around, if we find community in places like this, people like here at eTown and all over the country as we travel, we see people working in concert to make change at the ground level. And I think that gives me hope, because always young people doing it.
Well, listen, we look forward to a bright future with you guys, so it's always fun to hang out. Let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, Shovels and Rope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This song is called Bleed Me, and it's about the way that our children fill us up and the way that they suck us dry. And they fill us up back again.
From the back of my mind to the tip of my spine, from before there was time to the corners of my eye. You are the best part. Roll the dice, lightning strike twice. From a song in the night till the sun opens up his eyes. You are the best part of my full heart.
Thank you.
That's Shovels and Rope, Cary Hearst, and Michael Trent, playing everything, guitar, bass, drums, harmony, all the stuff. Shovels and Rope. They'll be back to play some more music later on in the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible with support from the Sage Foundation, the Cielo Foundation, the Scintilla Foundation, the City of Boulder's Office of Arts and Culture, and our members, our citizens, and listeners like you. By the way, let me remind you that for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel. Feel free to also subscribe if you go there in order to stay up to date with our latest video offerings. You're listening to eTown.
Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. Shovels and Rope are going to be back later in the show. And coming up, Nic Clark, a young singer from Denver who's committed to sharing his music with young people. Nick had his first record come out on a label called Little Village, which is a product of a mission-driven nonprofit organization called the Little Village Foundation. And their goal is to find and fund the recording of little-known, undiscovered, or forgotten American roots musicians. They cover a huge range of music. They cover all the costs. They give all the proceeds back to the artists while helping them gain a new audience. Little Village was founded by Jim Pugh, and Jim is somebody we met years ago when he was playing organ in Robert Cray's band. Some of you may know that Jim has also played and recorded with a ton of other people, including B.B. King and Etta James and John Lee Hooker and Boz Scaggs and Van Morrison. Anyway, like us, Jim sees music as a way to bring people together. And he's here with us this week from his home in Santa Ynez Valley in California. Please welcome to eTown, Jim Pugh from Little Village Foundation. First, a little background. You grew up in Chicago, pretty much. Is that right?
Suburban Chicago.
And how old were you when you first started playing music?
Well, I think third or fourth grade.
Yeah. And did you have a band in high school and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In fifth grade, somebody gave us a Muddy Waters record, and it was on.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden I didn't want to play Bach. I wanted to play Otis Spann, and I've spent the rest of my life trying to do that.
Well, it's so cool because your musical journey, as I mentioned, brought you from there into this R&B blues niche where you found your spot and you made a real contribution on a lot of records and touring with a lot of people. Like me, I know that you got to travel a fair amount and you played a lot of different places. And along the way, you got to see that music brings people together.
Absolutely. I really, early on in my life, heard the commonality of music, which I think is emotion. I played Mexican music for a long time when I first lived in California, and, I listened to that, and it sounds just like Etta James to me, and the Mighty Clouds of Joy sound just like Kaki Kumar singing in Hindi. If I could make children's mariachi records and play on gospel quartet records, that's what I would do for the rest of my life.
Wow, that's cool. Because that stuff is so soulful and it's joyful also.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I really have this heartfelt, I don't know how long the interview is. I could digress.
It's almost over.
We're
just about out of time.
Move along.
Yeah.
There's nothing here, but for example,
Feel free. Yeah, go ahead.
Nic Clark is a
yeah.
tremendous story. And he said he wanted to make a children's record. And I said, make a children's record for Little Village. And just last week, he performed for the second time at Pittsburgh Children's Hospital, and it was unbelievable, the response. And it's like, forget playing at Albert Hall. I'll take helping people do things like that.
That's cool. That's cool. I love what you're saying. And I think that one of the things we always talk about when we have interviews on eTown is the idea that somebody started something. We want to celebrate individual efforts that make a difference. That point of inflection is important to me and to our listeners, which is you had a vision and you made it a reality. So what was the first thing you did when you decided you were going to do that?
I worked for almost 25 years with Robert Cray, and before that I'd worked for 10 years with Etta James. I'd been traveled, I'd raised a family, and when I stopped playing with Robert at 60 years old, I said, what am I going to do? And I slowly kind of realize that my passion is seriously music, helping people. And I don't mean helping people in a big way, but in a small way. I like doing things on a one-on-one, the simple thing of helping somebody with their groceries. And the third thing that I like is diversity. So I just wanted to do something that incorporated all those three of those things. And also, I've spent a career of being taken advantage of. So, and this was the thing, the record company, the artist gets everything, the artist owns everything, the record company owns nothing, and they are not owed anything. It's freely given.
Yeah, it sounds great. Well, listen, we're happy that you took the chance. We're happy that you got off the road and can remember your children's names. We're happy that you made a commitment on behalf of musicians. And gave them something that no musician has ever had, ever, which is an opportunity to make a record in which they don't have to put up the money and they don't owe the record company anything and they own their own material. That has never happened before until
that's
you
true.
did it.
Thank
So
you.
congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's Jim Pugh, Little Village Foundation. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you very much.
We are going to segue right from that little bit of information about the Little Village Foundation into our next set of music with a Little Village recording artist. So Nic Clark grew up in Denver. He was not a particular fan of school. He found his first harmonica as a young person, maybe 7th, 8th grade. He started listening and learning from some of the leading lights of blues music that he found on record. He's been focused on playing some family-friendly music lately, inspired by the Staples singers and by his niece and nephew. He's found a way to bring, as we heard, his music to audiences around the country in hospitals, in children's hospitals and other places. He'll tell us more about that later. But right now, we're just really happy to welcome for his first visit to eTown, Nic Clark.
What's up, everybody? I have a new blues record coming out called Everybody's Buddy. That's me. This is the title song off the record. I'm gonna send this out to my buddy Andy Sitto. It goes like this. All my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again. All my friends. I got buddies all around the world, friends across the street. When I see my buddies, well, it knocks me off my feet. The music sounds so good, and the food has got more taste. When I'm with my friends, it feels like everything's in its place. My homies make me laugh, even when I'm sad and blue. If I ever lost my friends, my whole world would come unglued. As life keeps you guessing, and you feel like you're losing your mind. Hanging with my friends is how I'm gonna spend my time. All my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again. All my friends. my friends, all my friends, all my friends, all my friends. I just can't wait to see them again, all my friends. Nice. Thank you. Yeah. Nice. All right. This is cool. This next song is called Anxiety Blues. Okay, so I drink a lot of black coffee. There's this thing at Starbucks. There's venti, right? But then there's like the bigger one, the Trenta. I'm on 2 of those right now. My mind is rambling and I can't catch my breath. Well, it never ends, the walls are closing in. Turn it around just to do it all again. Well, I just can't be free of my anxiety. Went to the river, but I couldn't get across. Got back home, now I'm still feeling lost. It never ends, the walls are closing in. Turn it around just to do it all again. Well, I just can't be free of my anxiety. Get it, Nick. And the times are getting tough. Well, it never ends, the walls are closing in. Turn it around just to do it all again. Well, I just can't be free of my anxiety. My heart feels like it's coming out of my chest. My mind is rambling and I can't catch my breath. I went to the river but I couldn't get across. Got back home, now I'm still feeling lost. It never ends, the walls are closing in. Turn it around, just to do it all again. Well, I just can't be free anxiety. Well, I just can't be free of my anxiety.
Thank you.
Nic Clark, welcome to eTown.
Hey, man.
You sound great.
Thanks,
It's
buddy.
funny, I was thinking about all the music that Shovels and Rope makes. Like, it's just two of them, and they're making all this sound, all this stuff. You're doing the same thing. You're such a great harp player.
Oh, thanks, man.
And to keep that finger picking going with your guitar and sing and play the harp, it's a big sound.
I got it from Johnny Long
Yeah.
and Ray Bonneville.
Well, that's so cool that you have that as a background and that I know who they are.
I know, man. We got a lot of friends, man.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends in common.
Yeah.
So was I right about that whole thing about school was not really your thing?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
The courts got involved. The cops got involved.
Oh yeah, because you just didn't show up.
I said no.
Okay. When you were like what, 8th grade or something like that?
Yeah. Even before then, I was a brat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, must have been something made you a brat. Were people mean to you, or you just didn't?
You know, I was always a little mean on myself.
Yeah.
I'm like introverted. Like this is different because you guys are there and I'm up here. But in real life, I'm like, oh my God, get away from me. There's so many people.
Yeah.
And I always had that. And so school was like a lot of that, you know. Bullying has gone online, but back then, everyone had to take their lumps. I wasn't like totally bullied, but that plus the way I would talk to myself in my head made it hard.
Yeah, you made it hard on yourself too.
Yeah.
Well, so you found a harmonica. You started playing harp, and I imagine that most people in 7th and 8th grades don't find their way to the Staples Singers or to Elvin Bishop or to Muddy Water. How did you find all those records?
It was my family. We would listen to all my grandma's music, so it'd be Fats Domino and Ray Charles and Marvin Gaye and this guy from New Mexico named Roberto Grego, who's like bigger than Elvis in my family. So I was always attached to my elders' music more
That's
than
cool.
anything.
Yeah. I want to ask you a little bit about, we were talking about family and your niece and your nephew. And is it your niece who did the album cover art for your record?
For my first record.
Your first record,
Yeah,
yeah.
she did the album art for it. Yeah.
And Jim Pugh was mentioning that you just played in Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And is that something you have done before or you do?
I've done it a little bit in like the Children's Hospital in Denver.
Yeah.
This is my second time out in Pittsburgh for their Children's Hospital. So I've done it a little bit here and
And
there.
how did that happen? Because that's not a place where people go to get a gig.
Yeah.
generally.
Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
My dad, me and him were talking records, and he goes, there's this Taj Mahal record that's a children's record, and I can't remember the name of it. And my dad has a tendency to like exaggerate or like completely make things up. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. But it's real. It's a real Taj Mahal record.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I could do blues that way for families and kids.
Yeah, that's cool. So making a record with the Little Village Foundation folks was a good experience.
Oh, great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should be working really hard to be like the employee of the month at some fast food place. That's what, like my education level, that's where I'm at. But thanks to Little Village, I can be an artist, you know?
Wow.
There's this quote by Charles Bukowski.
You're about to quote Charles Bukowski?
I don't mean to bring
Okay.
up a misogynist drunk, but he has one of these quotes that says, if you got 4 walls and a roof, you got a chance. And that's how I feel about Little Village. When you have a community that is really honest and caring about music and art and making the world a better place, when you have something like Little Village, as an artist, you have a chance.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hats off to Jim and co. So listen, as a young person, I don't even know how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 27. I'm almost 30.
You're 27 years old. Wow, okay. Wow, you better get busy, buddy.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
looking bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to get back to music. Nick, it's great to
Yeah.
meet you. Great to have you here, and congratulations.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Let's get back to music. Nic
Let's
Clark.
jam. Let's jam. I don't care if I'm low. I don't mind if I'm high. I don't think I notice if the stars fell from the sky. Sometimes it takes minutes. Sometimes it takes days. Sometimes I can't wait for a good thing to come my way. But I try to understand. Try to understand. Try to understand who I am. And although I'm worried, I can't help but smile. I'm always repeating the same stuff that brought me down. Sometimes it takes minutes, sometimes it takes days. Sometimes I can't wait for the sunshine to come my way. But I try to understand, try to understand. I try to understand who I am. Yeah, I try to understand, try to understand. I try to understand who I am. Let's boogie. All right. All my life I've been moving slow, just killing time, my friends. And I don't know where the story goes or how I'm gonna get to the end. Go ahead, man. So if you know who's in the mirror, I think you'll be just fine. But if you're anything like me, man, you better wait in line and try to understand. Just try to understand. Man, kick your feet up 'cause you're out of luck and try to understand. Sometimes it takes minutes, sometimes it takes days. Sometimes I think you're better off waiting for a good thing to come your way. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Nick, Helen, eTown.
That's Nic Clark. The record's called Everybody's Buddy, out on Little Village Records, along with the eTones, Christian Teal, Adam Bodine, Kevin Johnson, Helen Forster singing harmony, Nic Clark.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. I want to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown right now on stations like KNBA 90.3 FM in Anchorage, Alaska, on WITH 90.1 FM in Ithaca, New York, on KEOS in Bryan, Texas. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you want some more information about any of our guests, there's lots of stuff online at etown.org. You can find out how to get tickets to live shows. You can see photos. You can see links to videos. You can find out about all of our upcoming events. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel where there's lots of videos from this show and others. Okay, families, kind of a vague thread through the show, but there nonetheless. And we've definitely covered some ground, and I'm super happy about all this music that's coming our way right now. Would you please help me welcome back to the stage here at eTown, Shovels and Rope.
Thank y'all. A little cloud,
A little
a
cloud,
little rain,
a little rain,
a little wind blew,
a little wind,
and here they came.
and here they came.
Their hips were slender,
Their hips were slender,
their shoulders
their
square,
shoulders square,
and when they danced, you best beware. They had no warning sign, but they will blow your little mind. Oh, Mr. Sanders, oh, Mr. It's time to go, 'cause Twisted Sisters about to roll. Oh, Daddy, Daddy, get up and ride, 'cause Twisted Sisters are my wife. Horror show, unimaginable loss, and barns were raised, cows were tossed. They tiptoed toward you,
They tiptoe toward,
they wanna dance.
they wanna dance.
You got no choice, man. You got no chance. So bow your head, close your eyes, take your heels and say goodbye. Oh, Mr. She's at the door. Oh, Mr. She's at the door. The sky was black, the rain did pour. Oh, Daddy, Daddy, can we still ride? Oh, I don't think so. Turn out the light and say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say goodnight. Say
Wow. Cary Hearst and Michael Trent, Shovels and Rope. Such an amazing sound from those two on Dual Tone Records. Their record's called Manticore. We've got time for one more song. I want to thank everybody for being on the show this week. And I want to thank all of our guests, of course, Cary and Hearst and Michael Trent, Shovels and Rope coming from Charleston, South Carolina. So glad you could be with us this week. Thanks to our interview guest, Jim Pugh, founder and head man over there at Little Village Records and Little Village Foundation. Thanks to Nic Clark, a new voice for us. So glad to have Nic on the show. Thanks, of course, to the eTones and to Helen Forster. We're going to do one more song for you. This is one that we love, and we think very fondly of Rick Danko, who was a guest on our show a few times. Amazing singer. I'm Nic Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Makes no difference where I turn. Can't get over you when the flames still burn. It makes no difference night or day. Shadow never seems to fade away. And the sun don't shine anymore. And the rains fall down on my door.
There's no love as true as a love that dies untold. But the clouds never hung so low before.
It makes no difference how far I go. Like a scar, the hurt will always show. And it makes no difference who I meet. They're just another face in the crowd on a dead-end street. And the sun don't shine anymore. And the rains fall down on my door.
Shovels and Rope, the eTones, Nic Clark, Helen Forrester, all of you guys, thanks to our team here, our staff, engineers, volunteers. Thank you so much. Don't forget to listen on the radio and watch our videos. We'll see you next time.
This is a production of eTown.